Hello students, welcome back to my channel. In the previous session, we've studied about price index number, quantity index number and value index number. In today's session, let us study how to construct these index numbers. So the next topic is steps in the construction of index numbers. The following are some of the main steps involving the construction of index numbers. They are defining or stating the purpose of the index number, selection of base period, selection of commodities or items, obtaining price quotations, choice of an average, selection of weights and selection of suitable formula. Let us discuss all these points one by one. First step in the construction of index number, that is defining or stating the purpose of the index number. The first and foremost problem in the construction of index numbers is to define clearly and precisely the purpose for which the index number is required. There are various types of an index number constructed with different objectives. Thus, before constructing an index number, one must define the purpose or the objective. An index number which is designed keeping the specific objective in mind is a very powerful tool. As different index numbers are useful for different purposes, a clear definition of purpose will help in the selection of an appropriate index number. For example, an index number or an index whose purpose is to measure consumer price index should not include wholesale rates of items, and the index number meant for slum or colonies should not consider luxury items. So once the purpose of the index number is known, it helps in selection of items, average, weights, etc. Second step, selection of base period. Selection of base year is another problem in the construction of index number. Index numbers are always constructed with reference to some period known as base period. The index number for a particular future year is compared against a year in the near past, which is called a base year. The index for the base period is always taken as 100. The period may be year or a month or a day. Following points are to be considered while selecting the base period. They are: first one, base period should be economically stable. It may be kept in mind that the base year should be a normal year and economically stable year. The period of abnormalities should not be considered as the base year. Second one, the base period should not be distant from the current period. The base year should not be too distant in the past. Base year should be that year for which reliable figures are available. There are two types of base periods. First one, fixed base. If the period of comparison is kept fixed for all current years, it is called fixed base period. Consider the above example. In this example, different commodities are considered. They are cheese, egg and potato, along with their price values are given in the table. So price values for the year 2005, 2006 and 2007 for these three commodities. As you can see, 2005 is considered as base year or base period, whereas 2006 and 2007 will be the current period. Here the comparison is made between the two different years. First, you can compare the price values of different commodities for the year 2005 with that of 2006. While comparing 2005 with 2006 data, 2005 the previous year is the base period and 2006 will be the current period. While comparing 2005 data with 2007 data, 2005 the previous year is your base year and 2007 will be the current year. So according to the given table, 2005 is the base period, which means here base year is fixed, whereas current year keep on changing. So this is called as fixed base period. The base period remain constant, the same values. Base year is fixed where current year values are changing. So this is fixed base year. Second one, chain base period. If the comparison is a required year on year, a system of chain base is used. That is, if the relative changes in the level of phenomena for any period are compared with that of the intermediate preceding period, it is called chain base period. Consider the above example. Here in this example, all the three commodities or items are given along with their price values for the year 2005, 6 and 7. Here base and current year are not specified in the slide, which means when the comparison is made between the year 2005 and 6, its preceding period, that is 2005, will be taken as the base period. When the comparison is made between 2006 and 7, its preceding period 2006 will be considered as the base period. So when the comparison is made between the two different years, their preceding period will be considered as the base period. So here it is like a chain. So when the comparison is made between 2005 and 6, 2005 will be the base year. When the comparison is made between 2006 and 7, 2006 will be the base year, and the chain continues. That's why this is called as chain base period. Third step, selection of commodities. After the objective of construction of index numbers is defined, only those items which are related to and are relevant with the purpose should be included. Selection of commodities basically depends on the purpose of the survey. The consumption pattern of consumers might change and thereby make the index number useless. It is better to use a consumption pattern at the time of the setting of the index number. Guidelines for the selection of commodities are as follows. First one, the number of commodities should neither be too large nor too small. Selection of commodities should contain standard or graded items, and there must be no significant variation in the quality. Selection should represent the real taste, habits and customs of the people. The economic and social importance of various items should be considered. So selection of the commodities must be made in such a way that it represents the real habits, taste and customs of the people whom the index is meant. Fourth step, obtaining price quotations. After the commodities are selected, we have to obtain the price quotations for each commodity. We know that the prices of many commodities vary from place to place and even from shop to shop in the same market. Care should be taken to select prices from representative persons, places or other sources, but they must be reliable. Guidelines for the selection of a price are as follows. Prices are to be collected from those places where a particular commodity is traded in large quantities. Prices collected from various places should be averaged. Thus, price quotations are to be obtained from different places, different agencies at regular intervals of time, and then averaged and used in the construction of index numbers. Fifth step, choice of an average. As index numbers are themselves specialized averages, it has to be decided first as to which average should be used for their construction of the index number. Since index numbers are specialized averages, decisions have to be made as to which particular average should be used for constructing index numbers. The commonly used averages are arithmetic mean and geometric mean. While constructing index numbers, arithmetic mean is commonly used because it is very simple to calculate. The arithmetic mean, being easy to use and calculate, is preferred over the other averages. However, as geometric mean is the best average for averaging ratios and relative changes, it is preferred in the construction of index numbers for the sake of greater accuracy and precision. Sixth step, selection of weights. While constructing an index number, due weightage or importance should be given to the various commodities. Proper weights should be attached to the various items depending on their relative importance. Commodities which are more important in the consumption of consumers should be given higher weightage than other commodities. The weights are determined with reference to the relative amounts of income spent on commodities by consumers. Generally, weights are quantities of base period or current period or combination of both of them. Seventh step, selection of suitable formula. A number of formulae have been devised to construct an index number, but the selection of a formula is based on the availability of data and purpose of the index number. No single formula may be used for all types of index numbers. After deciding all the factors, appropriate formula is selected to represent the data correctly. While selecting the formula, care should be taken to see that maximum use of the available data is made. Next concept, notations and terminology. Refer the given table. Here various factors are considered. As you all know that there are three types of index number. One is price index number, quantity index number and value index number. So the three different factors. One is the index number is constructed or computed based on the price value. So price. Second factor is based on their quantity. So quantity. And third one is based on the value, which is the product of a price into quantity. And different time slots are given. The comparison is made between base and the current year. So base year and current year. Base period is denoted with the notation 0 and current period is denoted with the notation 1. So in the first row, as you can see, P0 and P1 is given. Price values are denoted as P, which is a small letter P value. So small letter P with the notation 0, P0, which means price of the base year. 0 indicates base year, 1 indicates current year. So price of the base year P0. Similarly, price of the current year, price P with 1, which indicates current year. So P0 base year price value is P1 current year price. Similarly, quantity values. Quantities are denoted as small letter Q. Q0 indicates base year quantity. Q1 indicates current year quantity. Last row. P0 Q0. As you all know that value is the product of price into quantity. Right. So for base year price is P0. The product of base year price into base year quantity will give you base year value. So P0 Q0 is the value for the base year. P1 Q1, the product of price into quantity of the current year. Current year P1 Q1 is the value for the current year. P0 Q0 is the value for the base year. Here value index number is also called as expenditure. What is expenditure? Expenditure is the amount that you are going to spend. It is based on the value index number. Now for example, the same example I will consider here. If your intention is to buy 1 kg of rice, the quantity consumed is 1 kg. 1 kg of rice costs 30 rupees. Per kg it is 30 rupees. So 30 into 1, 30. That 30 is the value index. So it is the product of price into quantity. Quantity is 1 kg into price is 30 rupees. So 1 into 30, 30. That is your value index number. So value index number is also called as expenditure. It is the amount that you are going to spend. It is based on the price and quantity of the product or the item. The next concept, methods of constructing index numbers. The various methods of constructing index numbers can be classified into two groups. First one, simple or unweighted index numbers. Second one, weighted index numbers. In simple or unweighted index numbers, each item is supposed to have equal importance. But in weighted index numbers, the weights are assigned to various items in accordance with their relative importance. So here unweighted index number means here equal importance will be given to all the items that is taken into consideration. But for weighted index number, the weights are assigned based on their relative importance. If the item is of more use, the more weightage will be given to that particular item. If the item is of less use, least importance will be given to that particular item. But in the concept of unweighted index number, equal importance will be given for all the commodities irrespective of their weightage. So unweighted index number means it is the index number for which the equal importance will be given for all the items which is taken into consideration. But under the concept of weighted index number, the weights are assigned based on their relative importance. Again, unweighted index numbers can be further subdivided into two categories. First one, simple aggregative index number. So unweighted index number is also called as simple index number. Either you can call it as simple index number or unweighted, which is subdivided into two parts. One is simple aggregative index number, second one simple average of relative index number. Similarly, weighted index number can also be subdivided into two categories. One is weighted aggregative index number, second one weighted average of relative index number. So index numbers are broadly classified into two categories. One is unweighted, the other side it is weighted. Again, unweighted index numbers are subdivided into two parts. One is simple aggregative, other one is simple average of relative index number. Similarly, weighted index numbers are subdivided into two parts. One is weighted aggregative index number, the other one is weighted average of relative index number.